Jimo Ibrahim, Australian PM, to speak on mega projects at Oxford University conference. Access Bank dismisses claims of missing funds.
All right, let's move over to Vanguard. Obasanjo, Buhari, Tinubu, others unprepared. Kuka says almost all leaders came into office by accident. Tinubu is a reformer, not accidental leader. Presidency, Ekpa's arrest, no solution to insecurity in Southeast. Igbo elders, leaders, allegation of missing fund on True, Access Bank. Heritage Bank, why some customers are yet to be paid insured deposits. Petrol, 58% price difference fuels smuggling to neighboring countries. 2027, some PDP governors, NWC members protecting Damagum. Dangote refinery slashes petrol depot price to 970 naira per litre. Probe missing 57 billion in humanitarian affairs. Ministry, Serap tells Tinubu. And we created 8 out of 10 jobs in Nigeria, NECA boasts.
Moving on to Daily Independent. Experts warn of businesses in Nigeria collecting payments in dollars. Tax FG to prevent dollar-dominating country's economy. Worried foreign airlines violating BASA arrangements. Asks FG to enforce CBN Acts that criminalizes refusal of Naira. Obebolo raises 14-man panel to probe Obaseki. Restores full statutory rights of Oba of Benin. Dangote refinery cuts ex-depot price of PMS to 970 naira to a litre for marketers. Serap asks Tinubu to probe missing 57 billion naira in humanitarian affairs ministry. Tinubu, Buhari, others are accidental leaders, attributed to Bishop Kuka. Nigeria, Brazil pact to boost agric in 774 local government areas attract $4.3 billion. We are committed to paying Heritage Bank's uninsured deposits, attributed to NDIC. Lagos government hails Supreme Court's ruling on lottery regulation. Teleco's real loss of 70 million subscribers in 9 months face bleak future. In dilemma over NCC refusal to approve tariff hike.
Moving over to Nigerian News Direct. Tax reform bills benefits exceed Northern Group's concerns. Jibrin, which rider calls for negotiation, further consultations. NIMC DG accepts News Direct award nomination. Zenith Bank lights up Ajose Adeogun for Christmas. Lagos hails Supreme Court judgment ceding lotteries gaming regulations to states. Why payments for customers with deposits above 5 million are delayed. NDIC and Fidelity Bank rewards customers with 159 million naira in GIAM S.6.
Moving over to The Guardian. MPC's imminent rate hike jolts firms amid inflation survival concerns. All Nigerian presidents were unprepared except Tinubu, says Kuka. Dangote cuts petrol price to 970 naira for marketers. Ipman takes cue. We saved $20 billion from subsidy removal. Forex floating, says Edun. COP29 sets 2035 target for $300 billion yearly pledge of developing countries. Deviant contractors yet to deliver projects worth 74 billion naira. Stakeholders insist aging pipelines account for 50% oil spills. And lastly, AMCON seek judiciary's support to resolve over 3,000 asset recovery litigations.
Moving over to New Telegraph. Tinubu, Buhari, Jonathan, others accidental leaders. Kuka. Lament cycle has robbed nation of greatness. Leadership accountability failure liable for struggles with societal vices. Marwa. Agbakoba advocates big leadership. Says current hardship resolvable. 2026 budget can hit 100 trillion naira if. Jibrin Des NEF says NASS will pay tax reform bills. Probe missing 57 billion naira from humanitarian affairs ministry. Serap tells Tinubu. Okonkwo seeks God's intervention in presidency. NASS others. Why NJC should review judges recruitment process. PDP governors, NWC plots to keep Damagum in office till 2027. Opposition. Revenue generation, FG agencies liability up to 83.5% to 796.27 billion naira. Tinubu creative economic cornerstone of my diversification agenda. Okwebolo, Oba of Benin owns rights to returned artifacts. Dangote refinery reduces fuel price by 20 naira to sell at 970 naira per litre. And Ngige asks Supreme Court to revisit judgment on LG financial autonomy.
The Daily Times. Edun, Nigerian government saves $20 billion by ending fuel subsidies. Clerk to Tinubu, try Buhari Malami for humiliating ex-CJN Onogen. I won't yield to pressure from APC governors to dump PDP attributed to Governor Adeleke. Kuka, how Tinubu, Buhari, Jonathan Obasanjo became presidents by accident. Reverend Father Thomas Olege, Nigeria's oldest Catholic priest, passes away at 104. Lastly, petrol prices to drop as refinery cuts costs.
Moving over to the Matrix, Okwebolo Obaseki's camp at loggerheads over probe. Don't waste state resources on meaningless probes, Obaseki's aide. It's smokescreen to mask governors' incompetence, unpreparedness for office. Okwebolo to inaugurate State Asset Verification Committee tomorrow. Serap tells Tinubu to probe missing 57 billion naira funds. Amid outrage, world agrees on $300 billion climate finance deal at COP29. Ngige urges Supreme Court to revisit local government's financial autonomy judgment. Don't wait till there's revolution to adjust your policies, Gambari tells Tinubu. We've been lucky Nigerians don't demand very much. And Dangote refinery slashes PMS price to 970 naira per litre.
And moving over to the last one right here, First News, Nigeria's leadership by accident. Bishop Kuka's provocative statements of Tinubu, Buhari. Dangote refinery slashes petrol price for marketers to 970 per litre. Kaduna community demands a military base to curb bandit attacks. Nigeria saves $20 billion from subsidy removal, boost development project. Serap demands investigation into alleged diversion of 57 billion naira funds. Pandef lauds Tinubu's decision to maintain allocations for rivers. Nigerian businessman arrested for ingesting 2 kg of cocaine attributed to NDLEA. PDP condemns Ogun LG polls, accuses APC of intimidation, fraud. Lastly, Obebolo launches probe into Obaseki's administration.
Wow, a lot of headlines, but of course, we have our favorite analysts. No offense to all the other analysts, but we have Barrister Chidi Ujatumba. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I sound so politically correct.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Favor and Orji. Thanks for having me.
Good morning,
How's
sir.
the weekend?
I think this is my first time of being with you on Monday edition.
Yeah. It's true.
Brace up yourself.
Brace up.
It's all good.
The headlines are a lot. How are you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was fine. I went to Abacha Festival.
Oh, nice.
And did you shout?
I ate a lot of things.
Oh, because you lost your voice, yes.
No, we're doing praise and worship in church.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yesterday was also Christ the King, I think.
Yes, I lost my voice, so we were doing a whole lot of Christian activities. And then towards the evening, I went to enjoy myself at that place.
How was it?
The organization was superb. People turned out, and there were lots of companies that came to showcase what they have. It was one of the wonderful community fair I have ever attended in the recent past. I think the organizers put in a lot of work to ensure that states were represented, companies were represented, and food. There was a lot of local food items that you can feast your eyes and empty your pockets.
Nice.
See how to enjoy your weekend. See how to enjoy. Like, look at this is how when you come to work on Monday, you look refreshed, but then your voice has also gone. So your colleagues are like, you really enjoyed yourself, because I'm so envious. I'm like, what was I doing yesterday?
It's an enjoyment all around, from the church,
from the church to the evening and everything.
This day was fun. And Enugu was engulfed with a whole lot of activities, you know.
Like this period, like since last month, it's been back-to-back activities in Enugu. What would
I think beginning of the month, you know, I think every weekend there's a fair.
Yeah, the social life in Enugu is coming up, and nightlife is coming back. I think if the government can probably reduce the curfew on Keke to fly beyond 9 p.m., it will help to some businesses does well during the night. You understand? So you cannot take that away from us, because it's the way that the economy is brought up. Some can operate during the day, while some can operate very well during the night. So that's something that I think they have to look into. Yesterday was very, very fun. They stayed there till 12. I left around 9:30, but they stayed there till 12, and they started doing dancing competition. When people must have eaten and, you know, well fed, they were doing all kind of local dancing competition. Anambra, Imo, Ebonyi, and all the rest of them. It was so fun to, you know, be part of that kind of fair. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even want to start analyzing this. I don't want to start analyzing the headlines. But I think the curfew, or the 9 p.m. curfew, is really something that we should look into, especially in this time. Especially in this time.
The reason, security reasons.
Security reasons, that's the most important thing.
We should just find a way and, you know, tackle it, you know, counter it and all that, right? But fine, we're here.
Well, let's move. Say, I'm ready. A lot is happening, but I'm ready in the mood for enjoyment. But it's Monday morning, you know.
Yeah, sure.
It's Monday morning. Let's
serious.
Let's brace up. So we have different headlines. Is it from the reduction of, and the statement from Dangote Group is not. It did not look like it was going to be a permanent thing. It felt like it was a Christmas.
Yes, I read
the statement.
I read it.
And the statement was, oh, we're trying to give back for the season and everything. So it did not really sound like it was a permanent reduction.
Let's not preempt them.
Okay.
The reduction is like a drop of water in the midst of an ocean. But let's look at the indication. Let's look at the goodwill. Let's look at what they actually mean. Let's look at it and then, you know, give them kudos for taking that step. I can't remember the last time we heard that price of PMS was reduced, no matter the, you know, fashion of the
increasing all these,
So it's a kind of an attitude towards the right direction. And if all things being equal, and if our economy gets better, I think this is the kind of a thing that can give people, you know, the kind of can I call it that hope that they have always longed for.
That
will there be no, let me tell you. It's 13 naira, but what I'm talking about the whole attitude of reduction.
Holistically.
Thinking about reducing something. We've never, when
something goes up in Nigeria, it
never gets down again. When we get closer to festive period, we hear all about, you know, prices increasing, food increment, fuel increment, energy increment, and all of this. So if someone can be thinking of reduction, let me tell you something. As things keep on getting harder, there was a day we read on the paper, a landlord in Lagos reduced the rent of his tenants. You know, it's just one out of a million, but it's a step in the right direction. That's something we should think of, you know, reducing things and also giving people that kind of a hope that probably someday, if the economy gets better, that the price of this PMS is, you know, should actually, you know, be going down. If the 4 refineries are working, I bet you there will be forces in the market, because when you talk about removing of fuel subsidy, unbundling the oil market, and also making sure that the thing that actually determines the price now is the forces of the market, not subsidizing and all the rest of them. When you look at that plan, holistically, it's targeted towards ensuring that the price of oil is not the same in the market. You can buy 50-something naira or 500-something naira in this filling station and buy it high in another one, depending on the forces of the market, how you are buying, who is refining for you, which company are you buying from, and all the rest of them. So that's why the market was, you know, that's how exactly it's supposed to be. So it's a very infinitesimal reduction, but kudos should definitely go to them, because if you calculate it by the number of barrels they produce, that you're talking about billions. You're talking about a whole lot of money. So let's just give them kudos, and also expect the government to, tilt their other policies and directions towards this direction during this festive period, to give people that hope and also that kind of knowledge that the government really thinks and cares about them. Yeah.
All right, let's look at this particular headline that's cut across all the papers.
Yes.
And it's from Kuka. Tinubu, Buhari, Jonathan, others accidental leaders, saying that everybody, nobody came in with a plan. So we've been deprived of good leadership for all these years.
Yes.
I think we also have this headline. We also have this headline on Daily Trust. I think, is it Daily Trust that we have this headline on? Scattered around. Okay, sorry, Vanguard. Obasanjo, Buhari, Tinubu, others unprepared. Kuka says almost all leaders came into office by accident. Tinubu is a reformer, not accidental leader. Yes. This one is credited to presidency.
From the presidency. Yeah, from the presidency
responding back to it and all of that.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, one of the things that you cannot take away from this presidency is they are always very prompt. They are always prompt
to political
once
opinions.
You say one thing, they are ready to respond. You have to give it to their media publicity team.
Yes. Nice.
You have to give it to their media publicity team. But yeah, what do you think about that statement?
Kuka, that's Kuka for you. Kuka is outspoken. Kuka is fearless. Kuka is well read. So Kuka can always come up with his own opinion. Kuka, if you go into that story and if you analyze it, you will see the reason why he made the analysis that he made. Okay, let's take for instance, Obasanjo was brought out from the prison to become the president. Yar'Adua said, if I finish as a governor, I want to go back to start teaching. You understand? Goodluck Jonathan never wanted to be a president. So when you look at his analysis, Kuka is trying to tell us that these people never sat down and had both a short-term and a long-term plan on how they will make Nigeria better. And when they had got that opportunity, to what extent did they put it into practice? That's what preparedness made. That's what Kuka means by not being prepared. Because if you are prepared, your level. Okay, can we look at how long it took the ex-president Buhari to appoint his ministers? Does that show that such person is well prepared? Do you know how long it has taken the current president of the United States to fill in almost all the posts, all the ministerial and whatever posts in the United States? Not less than 3 weeks. Preparedness is not cheap talk. Preparedness is action. If you are prepared, let's see your preparedness in the speed and the level of what you're doing. And preparedness is not just throwing policies all around like a traditional native doctor who is chanting to know whether this one will work or whether this one will work. Preparedness has also to do with what I call surgical precision. You understand what I'm talking about? If you're saying I'm going to do this, you get into the office, you get the right people on board, and those right people get things done. That's the end product of preparedness. So when you sit down and analyze how these men have ruled us, Kuka is, if to my own knowledge, you understand, he has a point there. He has a point there because they have not really, turned the economy around. They've not really done anything that could make Nigerians, give them that kudos. I sat down and I discovered that since 1970 something, if you go through the newspapers, the same problem.
Yes.
Energy, oil, unemployment, marginalization of one group or the other. It's just the same, different faces with the same story. These politicians have failed us to a large extent. They have not been able to tackle the problem of Nigeria. If one president can say, I'm going to take care of energy, and by the 4 years or 8 years he's leaving, Nigerian energy sector is sailed and delivered, that one is gone. Just one item. They will double into too many items, and at the end of the day, they will leave office. They will leave the whole thing the way it is. Look at power. Do you know how much that went into power during Obasanjo administration? Do you know how much that went into Ajokuta steel industry? If I give you the data, you will literally jump out of your skin. So Kuka is right in what he's saying. These men have seized power. It's like a cartel. They'll keep on handing it over from one person to the other. They're not patriots. They don't love this country. You can't be going into office and the problem you campaign on all your manifesto. They are based on prevailing problem, and you go into office and you leave office, those problems are still there, untouched, unresolved, unmanaged, even escalated. So you can't tell me that these guys are prepared. They are not prepared. We need leaders who are well prepared, who will go into office and tackle the problem of Nigeria. It's not rocket science.
The question is, how would you know that a leader is prepared?
How do you, the governor of Abia State now, can you say that he's prepared or not prepared?
He obviously he is actually. So that's what I'm saying. During campaigns and throwing up manifestos here and there, you know, yelling out, railing out their parts.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so fantastic.
Go back to what they have done. Most of them are what we call what do you call it? Career politicians. Why most of them are actually from the private sector. They've done something. They've managed businesses. They have this, if you can call it, the spirit of entrepreneurial energy to move in there and get things done. Like the governor of this state. If you are going to vote for people who have been tested and trusted, and people have seen what it takes to develop a community. But we have to get it right.
But that was apparently what it was when the whole election was going on. President Tinubu has said he's tested and trusted. That was what they are pushing to in his manifesto and all the campaign promises and whatnot.
Let's not
what he did in Lagos.
It's right? Okay.
It was all about in Lagos. So it was
highfalutin.
He's going to do.
Most of them were unverifiable.
At the center,
Lagos has always been there.
So, but that was that. So you're talking about track records, right?
Track record, yes.
Their track record was what he did in Lagos. That was the campaign.
Your track record will speak for itself. In law, we say res ipse liquidator. Okay, the thing speaks for itself. There are certain things you cannot hide. If you say that you have a track record in governance, in builder, what did he build?
He builds men.
What did he build? Okay, what did he build? What you build, okay, will leave. Legacy is something that when you leave office, the monumental legacy will still be there, you understand? Speaking for itself, you understand? Pointing to policies that you implemented, you initiated, and that is making the life of the people and the economy of the nation to get better, you understand, on a daily basis. So, I don't know, experts are divided into two. Some say that he built something, while some say that he did not build anything, because Lagos has always been there. But if he actually built Lagos, what is stopping him from translating that capacity to build into resolving the problem of this nation? Ejun said that we have saved, let me help you. Ejun said that we have saved $20 billion US.
Yeah.
And the House, okay, is now divided into two because they want to know whether they can slash the $2.2 billion that Mr. President is asking for, what do you call it, as a loan.
Yeah.
That loan is actually supposed to, is like 9.7 trillion that is supposed to use to cover the budget deficit of 2024. And I asked the question, if you have saved this amount of money, why have we been borrowing? Why have we been borrowing? When will this government be honest with us? I have been studying on what agents say that the money will be used to do. It's the same thing that Mr. President is telling you that he wants to borrow money to get done. So where do we go from here? You can't be saving money from fuel subsidy and the government is also borrowing money. The Nigerian debt profile is an all-time high as I'm talking to you right now. And they don't know that this will definitely have an impact on Naira and the economy at the end of the day. There's also a certain chunk of the budget that goes into servicing all this debt at the end of the day. So when we talk about people, when Kuka say that these men are not prepared, this is what we are talking about. They are not prepared. Oji, economy, you see economy, do you know why Donald Trump won? Look, economy is something that no matter the political party that you belong, whether you are rich or whether you are poor, once the economy is good, it cuts across all board. It cuts across board. You understand? Economy is something that if you can't handle it, if you can't put your economy together, you can't call yourself a leader. Because people must eat. You understand? People must be well fed. People must take good care of themselves before they will not come out to do any other thing. The law of first self-preservation is the first law of life. You can't take it away from anybody. So economy has become an issue in this country. And a leader can be good at anything, but if you cannot know how to, if you don't have the wherewithal to, put the economy of this country together, you cannot come out and call yourself a leader. And you know, and we'll listen to you at the end of the day, because while our economy is going down, Nigerians are dying, hospitals are not well built, you understand? There's no aspect that you can hold on. You can say, this area, yes, we are doing well. Nigerians are surviving on their individual strengths, individual might, you understand? Trying to do whatever that they can do on their own.
I think this particular headline captures it a bit more. On the matrix, don't wait till there's revolution to adjust your policies. Gambari tells Tinubu, with Rider, we've been lucky. Nigerians don't demand very much. And I keep saying, a lot of people also agree, Nigerian politicians can't believe their luck. Like the luck that they have with Nigerians, like as citizens.
Because of their divide and rule system. They have this system that the political parties, and they divide, and there's no way, they won't allow the energy of the complaint of the totality of Nigerians to come together. If it comes together, it will be a melting point. If Nigerians speak with one voice, there is no place for hiding for these politicians. You've seen what happened in other African countries, and Nigerians need a leader who can galvanize them and bring them to that platform where anybody can say, it's either you fix this economy or you resign. When Nigeria speaks with a strong, resounding voice, there will be fire in Aso Rock. We have not gotten to that tempo, but we'll definitely get to that tempo if people continue to suffer, if the economy doesn't get better, and if unemployment keeps on going high, and if Mr. President keeps on borrowing money. He has to stop borrowing this money. Look, the House is a place where laws and policies are debated for the betterment of the nation. Now, when all the members of the House, no one can single-handedly raise an opposition to say, what are the infrastructure that we are borrowing this money for? Can we checkmate them? Can we say how these monies are being put into? Okay, can we source these funds locally? What else can we do? They're not thinking. When you think of how else, or rather how you can save and source funds locally and see how you can solve your problem internally, we're not borrowing in naira, we are borrowing in dollars. We are borrowing in dollars favor, and we're paying interest. We are eating up the resources of generation yet unborn. That's what we are doing. That's what these politicians are doing. Some oil that have not been drilled have actually been used to borrow money. Why the oil is still on the ground, but have been used to borrow money. And they will leave office. And when you come, they tell you what you are looking at is no more yours. It doesn't belong to you anymore. That's what we are going through. So you borrow money, any nation can borrow money, but let us see a commensurate development in infrastructure and other sectors that will help us understand that this is what this money is borrowed for, and this is what they have been used. If Nigerians are seeing this thing, the rate of complaint will definitely reduce. It will definitely reduce.
Okay, so talking about prepared and unprepared and ill-preparedness, right? So I'll still bring you to the matrix. Obebelo set up 14-man to probe Obaseki's administration, and Obebelo Obaseki's camp at loggerheads over probe. Don't waste state resources on meaningless probes. Obaseki's aid is smokescreen to mask governors' incompetence and unpreparedness for office. Obebelo to inaugurate state asset verification committee tomorrow. So my question is, and I keep asking this question, yes. You came into the office and the first thing you're doing is to probe the former administration and not going head on, tackling the crux, the issues in that state. Does that tell good of an administration? Like you just came into an office, yes. What you want to do first is to probe instead of to start, organizing things and making sure things are in perspective, having that rightful situation in the state, get everything going and working, but you want to start biting.
Sounds like a political witch hunt or something. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with probing someone, but
there's nothing
like rightly pointed out,
I'm not saying that
everything should be
put
on
a front burner.
Proper perspective. Yeah, because when you bring bitterness into politics, at the end of the day, it will reflect in the actions that you were taking. Let me tell you something. Mr. President was kind of if I am being honest with you, source tells you that the statement subsidy is gone was not part of the inaugural speech of Mr. President. But where did it come from? I don't know. There are certain things you do, it will tell about you. The election is over, you've been declared winner, you've stepped into office, and the very first thing that you want to do is to probe this guy. I am not saying that probing is not good, but there's a way you go into office and you start working, the things will come out. Okay, if you want to probe him, why don't you kind of set up a sort of an inquiry who can actually look into how governance were done, not probing, but look into how governance were done. And are there areas where probing is now required? Now, they will not recommend probing, because the man you want to probe is the past governor of the state, okay? He has been in power. You can't even probe him. You have to probe him by also looking into what he has done, why he was in power. You need the cooperation of people who were not there. So, and yes, probing is good, but it brings a bad, if I can use that word, it sounds to me like a political witch hunt, if it will be the only first thing that you will do. Because I know you made mention of this action of being prepared. You understand? And all your preparedness, all your political manifesto, everything is just, the very first thing you want to do is to go ahead and probe this man. But let me tell you the other, this coin might flip in the next couple of weeks, okay? You know politicians, Obaseki might join APC, go back to APC, or whatever he belongs to before, you understand? And before you know it, the man, 14 man set to probe him, will now start praising him. That's Nigeria for you. That's the country for you. So you can never get these politicians, okay? If they are outside the boundaries of the ruling party, and they know that the ruling party will use law enforcement to come after them, they will blend with the miasma. They will join the ruling party, and then you drop your guard, and they become one of you. They just become one of you, and all your sins will be forgiven. So that's where we are.
Glory to God. Let's look at this particular headline on Vanguard. Still on Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, insecurity in the southeast. You know, it is argued that the rate of insecurity increased significantly in the southeast after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's arrest, and with the whole sit at home and everything that's just been going on. But now that Simon Ekpa was arrested in Finland, I think last week, there's this particular headline on Vanguard that reads, Ekpa's arrest is not solution to insecurity in the southeast, credited to Igbo elders or leaders. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that at least it is still a step in the right direction?
It's a step in the right direction. Ekpa's arrest will always be a step in the right direction. Let me tell you one thing. Security and insecurity are the same thing, okay? The people that will secure you, they must have a plan. And the people that will cause that insecurity, they will do it with a plan. And in any plan, there must be cadre. There must be cadre. If you knock off Ekpa, those whom he uses within the local community will know that their boss is gone. They will go into hiding. They won't come out boldly to do certain things. Okay? And if you knock out Ekpa, they will tell you if they can reach Ekpa in Finland, who am I in Ubodogu or in all this bush that we are hiding? So Ekpa's arrest has a role to play in securing this place. But like they rightly pointed out, to me, I think it's not the only solution. Because when you have cells of unknown governments in so many places, when you have cells of people who are trying to harm you in one name or the other, they are armed, okay? When they get short of cash or food, they will move into the town and they will rob anybody, and they will kidnap, and they will do all kinds of, they'll commit all kinds of atrocities. So it's not really the end of it, but it's a step towards the right direction. If proper investigation is carried out, I believe that they will generate the intel that will enable them to bust most of these, cells where these guys stay. Look, there's a pathetic story that I happen to be part of, okay? A client of mine, I won't mention his name, was tracking a vehicle, okay? And got to a place in Anambra where, after retrieving the vehicle, the reinforced came after them, shot him, killed all the 6 policemen, set that vehicle ablaze. I won't mention the name of the person for security purposes, but this happened, okay? I am a lawyer to the family that suffered this kind of thing. Let me tell you one thing. These cells, there's nothing that is not in that cell. They have women there, they have drugs there, they have all kinds of things there. So if they are operative, if they are active, okay, what they will do, if you have knocked off their boss, they will find a way to re-strategize and continue to unleash mayhem to the local community that is hosting them. So the most important thing to do here is to continue to gather intel, to continue to gather intel, you know how they are treating these guys. Sometimes if you are related to someone who is an IPOB member, they will tag you an IPOB member. You understand? So if you have information concerning those you are looking out for, go out for them. Stop arresting their relatives. Their relatives they have not done anything wrong. You understand? In Nigeria, there is no law that says if I am a culprit, if I am a suspect, that automatically it's really I'm a suspect, all my relatives then I become suspect. You can arrest my father, arrest my brother, arrest my sister, and incarcerate all of them because they are related to me. I am a suspect, and no, we cannot continue to do that. What I'm saying is that if the law enforcement agency continue to gather intel, if they continue to engage traditional rulers, if they continue to engage community leaders, there is no level of intel that they will not generate in order to flush out all these cells. We cannot sit back and we can say Southeast is now secured. You understand? There is no thing happening again because Ekpa have been arrested all over there. No, has Ekpa ever come down here to perpetrate anything on his own? No. He make calls, he sends something through social media, and something will start happening. That will go a long way to tell you that the actual people who are making this to happen, they are living within us. I've always said it here that an insect that eats a vegetable lives right inside the vegetable. All you have to do is to look right deep inside. You will see it there. That's where it is. It doesn't come. It lives right inside there. So in the other part, what the community leaders are saying is right. We need a whole lot of work to be done, starting from the law enforcement and also community policing and also forest guard and all. Governors, they have a lot to do to ensure that Southeast goes back to that old state that it used to be, well secure. Yes, I know things happen, but if you, on a scale of 1 to 10, Southeast has been a well protected and secured region of this country, and I know it's a challenge to our leaders now to take it back to what it used to be. That's what makes them leaders.
I think we're going to leave it at that and see, because the Southeast is really becoming something else.
Yes.
And like you said, it is a step in the right direction. At least people who look up to this person can see that, oh, if this can happen to him, then me here, I'm not protected. You know, it can serve as a deterrent to others. So I think we should leave it at that and see what happens.
Gun proliferation. That's what these governors should do. They should. You see, the amount of ammunition in the hand of private individuals in the Southeast is something else. It's something else. That's what they have to go out. Because what will you use to hurt someone is the guns that they are taking from police stations and all the rest of them, the guns that they are smuggling into the Southeast. So if they go after all these guys and get them arrested and flush them out, Southeast will definitely go back to its normal peaceful region, and business will blossom, and we'll get richer.
We'll get richer. That's the most important thing. Thank you very much, Barrister Chidi, for taking our time to join us this morning. I mean, you could be resting, but you decided to come here. Thank you very much. We'll go on a very quick break. When we return, we are going to be taking quick trips around the region. Do stay.
Assalamu alaikum jama'a, sunana mai martaba Sarki Abubakar Yusuf Sambo. Ina kallon Afia TV kuma ina jaddada ma jama'an mu su dinga kallon Afia TV. Allah ya taimake su a aikin da suke na kyau. Inda ba yake ne mu no afambo His Royal Highness Sarki Abubakar Yusuf Sambo an ma watch Afia TV na kwado kwandibu inda ba ni ne ka hana watch Afia TV. Afia TV na mofino dalono.
Time check is 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibe and vibes only.
You're welcome back to the program. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show, and now it is time for us to take quick trips around the region, and we're going to begin in Abia State. The Abia International Trade Fair is a couple of days away, I think 3 days away, and we want to see the magic that is going to be happening in preparation for it. As preparations for the much anticipated Aba International Trade Fair gather momentum, residents of Aba have shared their thoughts on the potential economic impact of the event. Our correspondent in Aba, Chibike Agwamba, now reports.
In a time where the struggle for daily survival is palpable and many resorting to begging, the story of Ebenezer Ona stands out as a beacon of resilience and determination. Ebenezer, 19, though living with a disability, has rather chosen a path of skill and dignity over the easy routes of begging.
In these states, I think that if that kind of a thing can come out in these states, at least it will end some bad records. In fact, you will mobilize some youths. You will give people, even if you are selling pure water or anything, then you will bring it out. Just come and market it. This is what I'm doing. Maybe from there, someone can help you and say, "Oh yeah, use this. You are a good guy. You are a good girl. You don't want to thief or you don't want to lose. At least you have sense. You want to sell pure water. You want to sell this. Just use this and add for your business. So it will help very well."
At age 12, Ebenezer was involved in a car accident which
it will bring there will be competition in every sector. Both phone, both clothes, both shoes, both wearing. This there will be competition. Number one. Two. The most price of things like phones, material things will reduce.
changed his entire reality for the rest of his life. His decision to...
So basically, I think trade fairs favor mostly those who come to buy. So I'm not sure there is a way it cycles back to the economy at large. It's often just to favor the buyers who come to get stuff at a relatively cheaper price. And because they're not reselling those things, it doesn't look like it has a way of funneling back into the economy. So I don't think it has so much to do with the economy. Thank you.
Graphics design was inspired by the urge not to be on the street.
And there are people who have not...
We'll move away from that report. I think there are some technical challenges with it, but we're going to go to Lagos State, where, like I said at the beginning of the show, we're going to be looking at a story of a person with disability. In Lagos, a 19-year-old Ebenezer Ona journeys from physical disability to a skilled graphics designer, illuminating the indomitable spirit of resilience. In this special report, Kingsley Emeka, our Lagos State correspondent, beams a spotlight on Ona's activities. Here comes the details.
In a time where the struggle for daily survival is palpable and many resorting to begging, the story of Ebenezer Ona stands out as a beacon of resilience and determination. Ebenezer, 19, though living with a disability, has rather chosen a path of skill and dignity over the easy routes of begging.
My name is Ebenezer Ona. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Ebonyi State. I'm from a family of 6, plus my daddy and mom, making us 8.
At age 12, Ebenezer was involved in a car accident which changed his entire reality for the rest of his life.
I had an accident that led to an amputation of my right leg. So I'm working with crutches, but it doesn't affect my daily life because I'm living like my fellow human being.
His decision to learn graphics design was inspired by the urge not to be on the streets.
I just told myself that I would like to learn graphic designs. So I told my people that I want to learn graphic design. So that's when I went to one graphic design. So my Oga taught me. Now I can design logo and flyers. I doesn't beg before. So I realized that this accident cannot stop me. So I play with my friends. I work like my friends. So I learn work. I can't beg because this cannot stop me from doing what I want. That is why I'm learning work. After learning work, I will also like to furthermore the universities.
In a society where discrimination against persons with disabilities is common, Ebenezer's story is different.
I've not had any discrimination before. Even when my friends are still good to me, we are all living like we're the same. They don't insult me. Even when I'm walking on the road, nobody insults me. We do exchange greetings. Even when I was learning graphic designs, I had to play with my colleagues, chat with my colleagues, and we still do as if we are the same. Even in my family member, I have no discrimination. Nobody discriminates me.
He stands tall not just as a skilled graphics designer, but also as a symbol of hope and determination for everyone facing adversity. In Lagos State, Kingsley Emeka reporting for Afia TV.
You're welcome back to the program. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show, and today marks the International Day for the elimination of violence against women, and this is a day that is set aside to create awareness on the gender-based violence, especially violence towards women, and to have this conversation to see where we are at, you know, in regards to violence against women, eliminating it, the causes of it, to see where we are at, to have this conversation. We've just been joined by Ifeoma Nwatu, who is a multifaceted expert, teens coach, and a business owner. Good morning, ma. How are you doing?
Good morning. Welcome here.
Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we're going to start off with why do you think that, or let's start with what places, I know this is a bit too serious, but what places in Nigeria do you think there is more violence, or there is a lot more violence is meted towards women? Do you think it's a location place? Because I say this because on social media we see a lot of reactions, people saying that, oh, Igbo women have it better. Yeah, I hear Igbo women have it better. Or what are Igbo women suffering? And some people say, oh, in the southwest, the Yoruba women are enjoying, they have it better. And some other people say that, oh, if you get to some parts of the north, you know, it's just maybe the polygamy, they have it. You know, people make it look like as if there are different regions that have it better. Or locations that have it better when it comes to violence towards women, or the way that women are treated. Do you agree with this?
No, I don't agree with that, because violence can be anywhere. It can be done by anybody. So it's not a location-based incident. Violence can be in the east, west, north, and south. So I don't agree with that social media judgment that is more prevalent in the east, or in the north, or in the south, or in the west, because in those areas we have cases of violence even on a daily basis. So it's not a location-based incident.
So you say you don't agree that it's not location-based?
Yes.
Nobody has it better?
Yes.
I also share same sentiments. I mean, if it's done to one woman in a particular place, it is reason enough. It is big enough. You know, it doesn't have to happen to 10 women there for us to say that. Do you understand? So I do share same sentiments. But what do you think is one of the major causes for violence towards women?
Okay, I would say one of the major causes of violence against women is because there's this orientation that the society have, especially when it comes to the men. There's this like a framework that a man is supposed to be the head, the woman should not be head, the woman doesn't have a voice. So it's about the men. So the men leverages on that to treat the women less. Secondly, I think most women are less empowered, because when a woman is empowered, she understands herself, she discovers herself, because in this region, this region I mean now is in this side of the world in Nigeria, most women are not even aware that some of the things done to them are violence, because the society, the culture have made it in a way that the voice of the woman should not be heard, the woman should be under, she should be treated less. So some of them who go through this violence don't even understand that it's violence being meted upon them. So I think it's lack of self-awareness. Lack of self-awareness, that's one. Low self-esteem, then the men taking advantage of that too. And I can also say, because one of the causes of this violence is because in recent times, people who perpetrate these actions have not been brought to justice. So it makes it somehow come on the increase. Okay,
let's talk about the crux of the issues, right? Because self-awareness comes from somewhere, it stems from somewhere. You are born into a family. How did your mother raise you? What are the things your mother, what did she teach you? So you, from your observation points, right, how were you seeing your mother being submissive to your dad, right? So because these are the stems of how you're going to live, I know, apparently when you move into your own husband's house. So how can we start now to reconfigure the mindset of the mothers to their daughters into having that self-awareness to know that some of the things meted on your mother were sins and abominable, right? But you took over and thought, oh, it's normal. I have to be submissive to my husband as the head and the father of the home.
Okay. I come from a home where my father loved my mother and treated her very right. And not just that he treated my mom very right, he also taught my brothers how to treat a woman. This starts from the home. We say that the home is the smallest unit of the society. I tell mothers to teach your daughters that she can be godly and still not be naive. You can teach your daughters that enduring abuse from a husband, a colleague, a boss in the office, or whoever is not a sign of loyalty. If you teach your daughters this, they will know what to respond to, what to react to, where to speak up, and where to stay silent. But it's unfortunate that we have this mentality that a woman should be submissive. Submissiveness doesn't mean a woman should be oppressed. So, like, there's this Igbo adage that says, "Di bundidi." So, that di bundidi is one of the things those days our mothers passed to their daughters, that whatever you're going through, you have to endure it because marriage is endurance. So, that mentality, we need to change it, and there should be a reorientation from mothers to their daughters, that you don't have to encourage any form of violence, be it physical, emotional, and whatever. Because starting from the home, we have our mothers who were enduring, like you said, some abominable things, all in the name to keep their marriage, to save their marriage. But this time, it shouldn't be, because it has, this particular act have caused a lot of women, they lost themselves. They lost their sanity. There is so much trauma. Some of them are traumatized. Even some of those mothers that endured that, even up to now, the after effect of that thing, they have not even come out of it. The post-trauma, some of them are still going through it. Some of them are down in health. Some of them, their mental health are not steady and all of that. So we need to teach our young girls and our young women that some of these acts are violence, and you need to speak up when you need to. You need to put a stop to it when you need to. Because we had that orientation back then that, like I said, di bundidi. So it shouldn't be.
What are some of because when we talk about violence against women, we always want to narrow it down to physical violence, or domestic violence, or all sorts of that. But what are some other forms of violence that are also prevalent in our society but are also overlooked?
Okay. There's emotional violence, there's economical violence, there's also psychological violence where we talk about abuse. Now, for example, a woman is being sent to school by her parents, she graduates, gets a job, and she's working. And someone somewhere, a husband, gives her the ultimatum that whatever you earn, you shouldn't spend from it. You submit your salary to me. She can't take care of herself from the money she's earning. She does the maybe 9 to 5 p.m. job, and she comes back home, somebody collects the whole of the money and gives her peanuts. That's violence. We've had cases of men who don't raise their hands on their wives, or even parents, because this violence we're talking about is not just about,
it's not a husband,
it's not a husband and wife thing. We have, just like when you were talking about Igbo women and what they do to their helps at home. Some don't meet physical violence on these young children. They abuse them emotionally. It kills their self-esteem. Some of them are traumatized. When you see a child and you say you will not amount to anything, you're useless, you say a whole lot of damaging things to that child, you come from a poor home, I picked you up from the gutter, you keep reminding that child of his or her failures, is a form of violence. We have the sexual violence, which, of course, we all know about it. It happens in the workplace, it happens at home, even in religious organizations. So these are forms of violence, apart from the physical violence that is more pronouns.
So, how important is education and awareness in curbing these effects and having that self-awareness? Because oftentimes, let's take up north, you know, some of the young girls are being married out in a very young age, 12, 13, 9. Why? One, self-awareness. Secondly, education.
Sure.
So how would these, you know, help in curbing these issues here?
Education and awareness is very important, and that is what one of the things my organization is doing at the moment. We've made a proposal to the state government that gender-based violence should be included in the school curriculum so that we start teaching them at a very tender age and they pass it to the next generation that these are violence acts. So education is very important if we want to curb violence, because like you said in the north, many of them are married out, not just at a very young age, but to older men. And it limits their potentials. They are being confided in a place because most of them, it brings an end to whatever they want to pursue, their dreams, their visions. So they start giving birth, becoming mothers, going into motherhood when they are supposed to be enjoying maybe childhood or teenagehood. So I think education is very, very important. And I believe that education is going to help us as a country, as a people, as a society to curb violence.
Would you tag that as violence too? You know, marrying out those little girls very early.
Yes, because they are minors.
Yeah.
It's underage marriage.
And why do we leave it to prevail? And nobody's speaking up.
Okay.
Apparently, because when you talk about this, they bring religion to it, culture to it.
Yes, because if we want to curb violence, it's not a one-person thing. It's going to be, we are going to unite religious organizations, social organizations, the schools, the home. We have to come together to curb this violence. People are actually speaking up. I understand what you said when you said they are coming from the religious aspect, but there are organizations now in Nigeria, and there's a law already passed in 2015 and passed in Enugu in 2019. That is the VAP law, to look into these things. And I believe that the present government of the federation and the state will also look into it so that we'll curb these things, because these are minors. They are not even prepared emotionally, economically, to go into, psychologically too, to go into handling issues of the home. So I think if we start implementing these laws and addressing it properly, leaving religion aside, leaving whatever aside, because we are first humans before anything we became, whether you're an imam or you're whatever you are, whether you're a pastor, you're a bishop, we are first humans, and every human should be treated as a human.
Okay. So I like most of the things you were saying, especially things that he was also asking, which is religion, culture, and how it's arguable that they've been one of the major enhancers of the violence, enablers, yes, of the violence. Religion, culture. They've been major enablers of the violence that we see today, or that we face today. You know, even when you want to, you know, speak against it, oh, the man is the head of the home. Oh, don't do this.
You're supposed to submit.
You're supposed to submit. Do you understand? Or oh, this is how we do it in our place. Oh, this is culture. Do you understand? So we've seen that religion and culture are major enablers, but I also think that the community are also very major enablers. So the community that the woman or the victim finds themselves in, I will not just say the woman, like you said, we're not just limiting this conversation to husband-wife situation. So you have a help, and then the help is, you know, she goes back and she says, oh, my madam is not treating me well. The community around her is like, oh, where will you see better? Who will give you education? Who will feed you? Where will you go to? Do you understand? Just manage, just endure. Same thing with the husband-wife situation, where the man is beating the wife or starving her of physical or financial, emotionally, and everything. Oh, it's your husband. You cannot divorce. We don't divorce in this family. All of these things. So how do we help, or how do we make sure that people who are in abusive relationships, or people who are victims of violence, have a strong community to fall back to?
Okay. first of all is, I will always say the first step to solving a problem is to identify that this is a problem. Now, we need to educate these women on the self-awareness, self-discovery, to make them understand that nobody has the right to treat them less. That's one. Then two, the community should also be good listeners. When you listen to these women, you don't judge them. You don't condemn them. Like the issues of husband and wife, you see a man abusing his wife physically and people are asking him, what did you say? You know, women, you talk too much. So we don't need to start judging, and nobody has any moral justification to abuse any other person physically. So we need to listen to these women and not judge them. Three, we need to protect them. Protecting them is not like separating them, maybe say coming out of your marriage, but if there's need, please take her out of that place for her sanity, for her safety, to protect the victim, and again seek justice for these victims. You seek justice for them, because if the victims, the perpetrators of violence are being brought to book, it will curb it. So the society needs to support the victims by seeking justice for them, protecting them, and giving them any possible support if the person needs financial support, because most of these women, especially when it comes to man and women, like you mentioned about a child who is under someone, maybe because of education, there are organizations who have shelters for victims like that. So we encourage the community to support these organizations, to maybe have an educational scheme, foundations that, okay, maybe if you're coming out from where you are being abused, if you want to learn a skill, you can learn a skill. If you still want to go to school, you still go to school. So you don't need to die there because you don't have hope for your future. So we need to give them hope for the future.
Okay, let's also talk about organizations and channel, right? You know, having initiatives on helping these women, right? Like your organization right now, can you talk about your initiatives to curbing these, helping these women, and also that channel they could actually run to or report whenever they, and speaking up is even another issue. Some of them don't speak up, you know, giving them that venue to speak up when this violence is being meted on them, right? So can we talk about holistically on that?
Okay. I'll talk about my organization, that's GIDCOWE, Global Initiative for Development Care of Women and Youth. In the past years, we've been going to school sensitizations where we encourage young girls who go through any form of violence to speak up. And we've set gender-based violence clubs in these schools. We go to market sensitizations where we have gender-based violence desk. We created that platform so that if there's any woman or any girl who is going through any form of violence or abuse, you report the case. That's the first step of speaking up. When you report the case, we involve the necessary other organizations we collaborate with, and we take the legal actions. One of the things we have done so far, there are some schoolgirls we have taken out of the homes where they are being abused and violated, and we've given them shelter and made sure that they continued with their education, they pursued their careers. So these are one of the things we have done.
Okay, that's great.
I want to talk about, let's talk about some of the laws that protect women in Nigeria, you know, because there are a lot of laws that we hear and that we see and we're like, what is this one going to do for anybody, you know? But what are some of the laws that you think that we can implement? Because I know sometimes the laws are there, but they've been implemented.
Yeah.
You know, what are the laws that you think we can implement that is going to help protect against violence for women?
Okay, there's VAP law, that's Violence Against People Prohibition Law, that was passed in 2015 in Nigeria and passed in Enugu State in 2019. Is already domesticated in Enugu State at the moment. So one of it is in the cases of rape, when you report a rape case within 24 hours of the incident, the victim is being taken out of the environment where the rape case happened, and unnecessary tests and investigations are being conducted. If the perpetrator is found guilty, he goes in for it. It's a jail thing. It's a jail term that the person goes to jail. We have a law that protects women, widows. We have a law that protects the girl child. We have a law that protects a woman. Like we've had cases of men who abandon their wives. Not divorce, not judicial separation. You just wake up one morning, abandon your wife, and go to live with another woman. Now there's a law. There's a law to protect such women and to bring such men to book. So the VAP law covers a whole lot about the gender-based violence.
But literally, not everybody knows about this, right? So echoing and re-echoing is very important. So what steps have you, maybe organization, taken to re-echo and echo that there are laws that could actually protect you, and there are policies that could actually protect you when violence is being meted on you?
Okay. Today is the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, which marks the 16 days of activism. Okay, for this period now, there's heightened campaign against violence and prevention of violence against women. So far, we've been doing awareness in schools, in media houses, in the markets, in the churches, and in the grassroots, like in the communities, to make people aware that these laws, there is a law to protect women. And in these 16 days also, we will heighten and increase our awareness. We have programs for these 16 days, and the major key of the program is to create awareness, one, for people to how to prevent violence against women, and for people to know about these laws. So like you said, we keep echoing it and re-echoing it, because when we create more awareness and more people are aware of the law, I think to a very good extent, we may not completely eliminate it, because it's a gradual process. It's not something that's going to happen automatically, but to a very good extent and percentage, I think we will stem the tide of violence. So we have sensitizations, market, radio, media houses, and we also, this period, we have a program for the men. Yes, men engage. That's what we tag this. We're going to be having it in a local government here in Enugu, because most of the times, I'm sorry to the males are the perpetrators of this violence. So we are going to let them know that there's a law. So if whatever you're doing, be ready to face justice. And also, we want to also give the men a platform that they too, they can speak up. Because sometimes the society have made it look like when we talk about violence, it's only the women, that the men too, they can speak up and they can also get justice.
And sometimes it borders down to trigger, right? Women sometimes trigger these things. So do we always have that conversation on how to avert, how to, let me say, semantics, the kind of things you say, you know, how you relate your message to your husband or the father of the house and all that? Because sometimes the man's head might be full and you come and bring your own issue and blow it out of proportion. If he doesn't, it's not a man that can actually hold his cool, right? You see him going off. Sometimes women are even the reasons why these are being meted on them.
Violence is not actually a case of cause and effect.
Yeah.
Violence is violence, whether it's meted on a woman or on a man. Like I said, there are men who go through violence, maybe form of abuse, but you know the society have made it that men don't cry. You man it up. So imagine a man coming out to his kindred meeting and tell his kinsmen, my wife beats me up. they will laugh him to score. So they seem to bottle it up. I don't know if you're getting it. So, but we are trying also to teach the women about this violence, because there are also women who mete out violence on the men and even on their children. And so we have these conversations, mind what you say, mind what you do, but we are not trying to justify the fact that it's because of what a woman said, that is why a man should beat a woman up or abuse her physically. We are not trying to justify that. Like I said, violence is not a woman thing. It can be meted on a man, it can be meted on a woman. So we create this awareness that you don't have rights to abuse anybody.
I think that's a very important conversation, because, and why it's a very important conversation to me is, a lot of times, even when these said men, like you said, oh, their head is full, and the woman says something. Sometimes you go to different places, or you go to your boss at work and your boss says something. You won't beat your boss.
Of course.
You will not beat if a fellow man is on the road says something to you and you see the man is macho, and you calculate the fact that this man, if you can't take him, you are not going to be violent towards him. So I think that while I understand that there are triggers and there are things that somebody will say to you that you'll be like, I'm supposed to slap you away from this place, it's always very important for everybody to protect themselves. When it comes to physical violence, it's never a cause and effect. It's never a cause and effect. If somebody is offending you or saying something, you can always walk away from the situation. If you feel triggered or something, like walk away. The next thing would never be to exert any form of physical violence, because you could, and then next thing you hit the person and then they die or something crazy happens to them. You would not say because, oh, she said something like that. That's never a good justification.
Most of the times when we talk about this violence, like triggers, when we have cases of rape, you see people asking, what were you wearing? Yes. Where were you at that time?
Why did you go to his house? Why did you go to see him?
It's not a case of cause and its effects, like you said. If we are looking at triggers, like in the case of rape, we've seen men, adults, rape
children.
Infants. So what is the trigger? Is it the diapers or the smoothness of the baby's skin? So it's not a case of cause and effect, because if you're thirsty, you're very, very thirsty, and there's no water around, the only water you are seeing is the water flowing in the gutter. You won't scoop it and drink. So it's your ability to manage your anger and control your emotions. And secondly, we need to start teaching people what love and kindness is.
Very important.
Very, very important.
I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Ifeoma Nwati, for taking our time to join us.
Thank you
and just shed more light on this particular topic. Very sensitive topic. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much.
We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll have more conversations on the morning show. Just stay.
Season, we are ready to do it all again. Phil Foden is having the season of his life. Brilliant! Just brilliant! That is quite something!
Stay connected for all the football you want, starting from 5,100 naira per month.
There's no mountain we can climb. Can make it if we try. If we all say yes, I believe that there's no mountain we can climb. We can make it if we try.
From the commercial nerve center of the southeastern Nigeria, the Abia State Government and Aba Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture, ASIMA, invite manufacturers, investors, trade unions, captains of industries, and the general public to the 2024 Aba International Trade Fair Summit and Exhibition. Take advantage of these opportunities to showcase your business to the rest of the world, improve your sales and brand Visibility, date 28 November to 7th December 2024. Venue, Aba Mega Mall, along Aba Umaya Expressway, Osisioma, Abia State. This message is endorsed by the Abia State Government and Aba Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture, ASIMA. For partnership, sponsorship, and participation enquiries, visit www.abainternationaltradefair.com. On Facebook at Aba International Trade Fair, on X, Aba International Trade Fair, or call Marcus on 0806 605 4420 or Sam on 0802 826 9391. Aba International Trade Fair. Be a part of it.
But why won't I be happy? Not just because it's festive season. It's moments of friendship and 60 million reasons to love. Small Pepe.
Babes, this dress is given. Don't forget the earrings. Those are 2 reasons already.
The best reasons will make your heart beat faster. Come on! And make every laugh worth it. It's all about holding hands, sharing and enjoying happy times together.
Have more reasons to be happy with Niger dramas, football, and more smiles on DSTV this festive season. DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Welcome back to the program. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show. My name is Favor Obinyaluba, and of course, Ojuwachuku is still in the studio with me. We are going to be going straight to social media trends.
As there are things to talk about.
There are a couple of things that have trended over the weekend. Worth talking about. Of course, we're going to begin with Dangote Refinery reducing PMS price to 970 naira per litre. Even though we did speak about this briefly on during the newspaper review. And I'm going to read out the statement because, like I said, even though they've told me not to be pessimistic, but Dangote Premium Petroleum Refinery has effected a reduction in the prevailing price of its premium motor spirit PMS from 990 naira per litre to 970 naira per litre for the marketers. As the year comes to an end, this is our way of appreciating the good people of Nigeria for their unwavering support in making the refinery a dream come true. In addition, this is to thank the government for their support, as this will complement the measures put in place to encourage domestic enterprise for our collective well-being. While the refinery would not compromise on the quality of its petroleum products, we assure you of best quality products that are environmentally friendly and sustainable. We are determined to keep ramping up production to meet and surpass our domestic fuel consumption, thus dispelling any fear of a shortfall in supply. Anthony Chejina, Group Chief Branding and Communications Officer, 24th November 2024. This was yesterday. I mean, my own, what's it called? The way I feel personally is this going to be long term? Is it going to be long term? And I know it is 20, it's not even 30 naira, it's 20 naira, 990 naira to 970 naira. It's 20 naira and it is for the marketers.
Yes,
it's for the marketers.
They dish that out to the marketers, then they probably might fix up like a 15, 20 bucks on it, right? So apparently almost 1,000 bucks or thereabout, right? And watching this thing from our vantage, I would say crude for naira could actually have solved all this issue, or other refineries working, right? But it's Dangote we're all depending on. So whatever he says is what it's going to be.
Take his word for it.
Literally the market maker here, because he's his refinery and he's in business. No matter how you see it, yeah, probably the savior of the oil problem we're having in Nigeria at this point in time. But then again, he's a businessman. He's doing business, right? So he wouldn't want to go in loss because he's trying to help your nation, right? So at the end of the day, business is all about making profit. So you don't blame him.
I mean, we will not blame him. But let's take a look at some of the comments that we have here. As long as the fuel price is still above 400 naira, then it is expensive. Is it that we continue buying it 5k per litre? Subsidy was actually removed because of this man. The more you think about how fuel price pumped high because of subsidy removal, you will know what I'm saying. He reduced it to look like he's doing us a favor. 970 naira, does it make any difference? Wow, a huge 30 naira difference. What a guy. What's the difference, bruh? It's still expensive. This man joined the problem he passed through for this country. They make us think saying our government be our problem. A huge 20 naira, thank you, sir. I mean, different reactions to it basically. But like Barrister Chidi said, when things go up, they rarely come down. So for us to even see this difference in the
maybe just for
price,
us to say he's doing us a favor, as one of the comments right there in the chat box.
I mean, but let's see. Maybe other good things are in store. Maybe this is the first step to. This is our first step to renewed hope. Let's keep renewing our hope and seeing that other things are going to happen.
Well, I tell you, every morning wake up and just take two capsules.
Take a pill of your renewed hope. But we're going to move to a different one, and this one over the weekend, it caught my attention, and it was something I was like, you know what, we also have to talk about it. Now, if you don't know who Ellen Ukpabio is, what I'm saying now, do I know who she is? But yeah, according to reports and all of that, Ellen Ukpabio is a minister.
Yeah.
But her specialty, she's a gospel minister, you know, but her specialty is in witchcraft, in the sense that she specializes in witchcraft and removing witchcraft from children. She has run a whole ministry on witchcraft, making sure that there are no witches, you know, in Nigeria. But her specialty, she's located in Calabar, and we see a lot of. I was
going to ask a question. Is she located at some place in Nigeria that we know?
No. She's located in Calabar. She's very popular in Calabar, and I went on a deep dive this past weekend on Helen Ukpabio. A lot of the movies that we see or we've watched, witchcraft and all of that, were her productions. All the movies, you know, movies where, I think that was when it started, where if your classmates give you something, you eat winch, you know, or that you will now turn and start flying in the night. Like, these were her movies. Anytime, any movie where you see that there is winch, or like they will pound baby, or the child will start crying in the night, or they will give the child
like
biscuits.
What she studied, because I know that people actually study witch.
She did not study. It was a calling that she received.
Was a calling?
No, it wasn't studied in school. It was a calling that she received, and her ministry and her doctrine was so intense that people on social media started reacting to it, talking about how they were abandoned as children because she told their mothers or their fathers that they were witches. You know, they would beat you. There was a particular person that said that, you know, she ran away from the house because they told the parents that she was going to fly that night, and so they were going to beat you and all this. So and there were even some signs of witchcraft that she put: failing in class, falling sick, stubbornness, bedwetting.
In children.
In children, these were signs of witchcraft. And so it's kind of, so what even brought this up? And because social media now, it takes one thing to for everybody to start remember your case and start talking about it. So a particular blog posted her picture and said Ellen Ukpabio turned 60 today. You wished her a happy birthday and all of that. And then now where it gets more popular or gets funnier, because a popular musician, Bloody Civilian said she literally burns children alive. She told parents to burn some of their children alive, you know, because they were witches. She left some children
to go ahead and do that.
And they go ahead and do that. They left some children to die because they said, you know, they were witches and all of that. Yes, these were things that. So this is what Bloody Civilian said. And then, you know, the daughter of the girl comes out and says, "What do you mean? You know, make it a whole frenzy." Started doing a whole back and forth about it on social media. And then, as the daughter comes out to defend her mother, other people started bringing receipts. A lot of pictures were flying online. There's a picture of a white lady holding a baby that was maltreated, that was left to literally die just because of. So there were a lot of agencies that had to, you know, step in Calabar, like, you know, especially in the early 2000s. They had to step in and see all the things that were going on there and all of that. And, well, the family still went ahead and sued Bloody Civilian 200 billion naira.
To shut up.
told her to take it down and apologize and also sue for 200 billion naira. And obviously, a lot of people on social media are still coming out. There's still more receipts. It's still happening, and it's just really crazy what this whole story, or the cankerworms that this story has opened. Of course, there is still there are newspaper headlines. Ellen Ukpabio caught fresh trouble, and even according to the news, she's actually even banned from entering the United Kingdom because of all of these allegations meted about
recently.
her. Yeah, not even recently. Like, it's been a long time. She's banned from going to the UK and all of that. And we take a look at some of the comments. This one said 200 billion naira. Wallah, your mom did what she said. 200 billion naira, isn't that the greed the Bible talks about? Ellen Ukpabio and her daughter have now opened a new Pandora box of problems for themselves going forward. Watch how their victims will come forth in 3, 2, 1. I'll damage them first before Bloody pays 1 kobo. As the lawyer typed this finish, Seth is supposed boss laugh, comedy script. Then Bloody Civilian herself responded and said, it shocked me, yo. When it comes to a lot of people, I think this has opened a cankerworm of religion in Nigeria. People talking about dangerous doctrine and all of that.
Yeah, I just remembered right now. This name sounds familiar, right? From yesteryears and all that. So, and the story of witch and I could literally remember, even growing up, right? I keep hearing about, and some of the movies, she made as of then too, right? It's always. I just remembered right now this name. I just saw the face. I was like, I know this face, and I just remember that this is what it was, and the stories I was hearing, But for them to sue that amount of money, it just says a whole lot. I'm not judging right now or saying that she did this or she didn't do this, or allegedly right now, right? Because in this age and time, you sue somebody of that amount of money because they called you out, then there's a lot. There's a lot in your cupboard. There's a lot in your closet, right?
200 billion naira.
So and trying to defend too is going to unleash mayhem on you. Why? Because so many people are going to show receipts. The social media, their receipts are everywhere. So many people are keeping quiet. When they remember you, they will tell you things that you've forgotten what you did, right? So it's crazy, but let's just see how this is going to unfold at the end of the day. If this is going to lead to something she would never ever, have ever a thought of that could happen to her in this life. Because you even saying that she was banned from entering UK means that it's a whole lot.
There is a whole lot around it. And like I said, I went through a deep dive of just going there. I was like, oh, is this where this whole thing came from? Because I remember, like, in the early 2000s, I was a lot younger, but then we would see movies. They tell you don't collect sweets. And then I saw the
name rings a bell.
Exactly. Liberty movies. I think because the name of our church is Liberty Christian Center or something like that. And then I saw the movies. I saw the posters. I was like, oh, this is where these came from. Because I remember those horror movies then that I would see when they were doing all those things. I was like, oh, this is where this came from and all of that. So there is a lot of evidence, damning evidence, and people coming out and saying a lot of things, and even organizations too that are still coming out to say a lot of things. But it's really up to them to. We would like to see what Bloody Civilians' defense would be. That's one. And also what the other evidence they have against that. Because I really don't want this to be a case of...
It's a big atrocity for her to call out someone to burn a baby. And if the parents did that, then
I really want to see, because there are documentaries online about this. Like, I watched it, I was like, what is going on here? There are a lot about it, but I really want to see what the family's defense would be, obviously aside this, because most times what we see is once they put defamation lawsuits, everybody will now keep quiet and shut up because they put a defamation. Journalists and nobody wants problems, because I've seen that's been the recent trend now on social media. When somebody comes out and says this is what happened, instead of coming out with evidence, sometimes the first thing that is where everybody's not is we go legal, lawsuit. So even other people too, okay, maybe let me just keep quiet and all of that. But I really want to see how this ends, because this is not just this is something else. This really is something else. But we'll move away from that and see the other people that are still under fire. So a couple of days ago, like I said, over the weekend, a lot of things happened. A couple of days ago, Davido was on a podcast kind of, and he said something that a lot of Nigerians are kind of Some are, praising him for. Other people are like, no, you should not go and say this about your country in public and all of that. Let's take a look at that video.
Okay, like try to find those.
Leave America and go where?
Back home.
Let's be honest. Go back where? It's not cool back home.
It's not?
Not my country now is in the economy now is in shambles. Like,
but if people are leaving,
I do my part.
Yeah,
I'm an ambassador. So when I go home and I'm filming and showing, I'm not gonna show the bad parts. I ain't gonna show all the
You're
bad
not gonna
parts.
try to slum. You're not gonna show the trenches.
No, I go to the trenches.
Yeah.
I film the trenches, but I'm talking about the situation in the country.
Yeah.
Be Nigerians, you know what I'm saying? Like now the exchange rate is messed up. A lot of stuff not going well. You know what I'm saying? The economy is just not good anymore. The oil prices are too high. And imagine a country that produces oil. We produce the oil, and we pay more money for oil.
The question was like, so if we want to leave America,
truly the reality of Nigerians.
Let me ask you. Let's call it spade, another cousin of a shovel. What is the lie? Okay, it's because it's Davido, right? What's up with President Tinubu at Brazil at G20? What is the difference? What's the difference between what he's saying and what President Tinubu was saying? I beg we should stop, always trying to add the truth.
Let's take a look at some of the comments.
Spade.
Let's take a look at some of the comments. If the son of a billionaire, the godson of a governor, an international superstar could attest to the fact that Nigeria's economy is gone, you without 500k in the bank should not be defending Tinubu. Davido's reality is a million times better than yours. Do not politicize a failed economy. They will learn. The funniest thing about defending bad government is that it's like fart. You smell it. You don't enjoy it, but you can't run away from it. It will definitely get to everyone's doorstep. Even for those of us who can afford what we need at all times, it is very clear that it now costs 10 times more to do that. Then someone will tell me that I have to be hungry to call out Tinubu. No, economic reforms by foot. Since 1999, this is the first government that made the phrase "rich also cry" come to life. Nigerians that are known to be cheerful givers have now turned hostile when you ask them for favors. Some would even ghost you. But then, are they intelligent? No, they are not. I don't expect stupid people to understand this simple tweet. The only reason to support this unfortunate government as it is now is tribalism, if you are earning directly from it, and if your brain is malfunctioning. And yet, some people were insulting Tinubu when he appealed to Nigerians to be patient and give this government more time. How we choose our own evil and then expect every other person to lay on the floor flat baffles me. I completely agree with you, Ojoachukwu. I do agree with you, because last week we had our president, the 001 of the nation, go out and say the economy is in shambles.
Yeah, he was in Brazil. He was sent out at G20.
There's insecurity. We can't go to the farm. And it was even more, but...
His was even more detailed.
More detailed.
So Davido is trying to re-echo what he was echoing at Brazil at the G20 summit, right? So I don't see the bashing. Why are you bashing him? I saw so many of the president's aides and some elites from the north trying to defend, trying to say, oh, you're meant to be a good ambassador of the
nation. What's happening?
So you should go out and start lying. Some people are telling you want to come back to Nigeria to come and invest and do whatnot. But definitely, you know what's going to happen at the end of the day, right? There's so many things to hit you here that at the end of the day, you regret it. So when the economy is booming, when they put things in the right perspective and all that, and there's a headway, then fine and good. I wouldn't even advise anybody, right? Because it's a service to myself. So whatever Davido was saying there was not a lie. There wasn't a lie there. He's saying his truth.
He's being very transparent.
And for him, that he has all the money he has got, right, to be complaining. Talk about now what the common man right there in the street is going to be saying and be feeling, right?
I mean, at this point, everybody needs to embrace reality. If the people who are influential can come out and complain,
because we won't keep padding the truth and always pushing out the lies, right? And that's why these things keep
happening, like
blown out of proportion, right? Because at the end of the day, they always find a way to do their personal biddings and not for the people. You go out there, you give people their mandate. They go out there, they're all about their personal biddings, their family. Just their family, their loved ones. The 1% out of all.
The 1% of the 1%.
That's what we're facing in Nigeria, right? So him going out there to call out what it is, he's being truthful, he's saying his truth. So people out there bashing him, I don't understand. So when you're done bashing him, he has money and he's complaining. Like, he's feeling the brunt. You are bashing him. Nigerians should wake up. Oh.
Nigerians should wake up. Oh, we should really wake up. And in the words of a popular philosopher, you go better, you go better. When?
We've been hearing this since we were little. And even parents would tell us then, it go better since 70s, 60s, 80s, and up until now, it go better.
When?
Nice.
When? Oh. I think we're going to call it a wrap on the morning show this morning. Thank you very much, Ojuwachukwu. And of course, to you, our viewers, thank you so much for doing this with us. And it's the beginning of a new week. So, of course, expect amazing, amazing content all through, from the Afia Morning Show to the Business Morning, of course, the news, and all of the amazing programs that we have for you. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Afia TV Official. My name is Favor Obingeluba.
And I remain OG and Ojuwachukwu. Have a splendid Monday and a week ahead. Bye for now.
Welcome to Afia TV, your go-to channel for excellent news and incredible shows that keeps you IEI, that is, informed, entertained, and inspired. Need a break?
Ladies and germs, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV.
Join Choco to vibe and chill on lunch break at 2 p.m. for the latest trends in music and entertainment.
Not like I have big money.
Dive into the world of innovation and creativity with Rochelle on Anka.
It means art in English.
Where creative minds and groundbreaking ideas come to life. Tune in every weekday at 8 p.m. Do not miss Afia TV Official, your perfect dose of laughter, where they discuss what is currently trending on social media every day at 5:30 p.m. on Afia TV.
But in this economy, the savings will save you, man.
And that's not all. Stay tuned for more exciting shows on Afia TV. Catch us on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owner, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and
incompetent means an incompetent person.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Hey ladies, join us on Gyna Plus